We're live when you pointed the finger. The engineer pointed the finger, so we're live right now. This is Travis coming to you from Recovery Central, McShin Foundation. This is the Her podcast. This is basically an outtake. This is my good friend,
Olav.
I didn't give him the 1, 2, 3. That's why it took him a minute. Right. And so basically we're working out the kinks, seeing how our voices sound on the air. And Olav, what do you want to talk about today?
I was thinking about the first spiritual principle.
The first spiritual principle. That's a very deep subject for an outtake.
It's all right. We got 15 minutes or 10.
And Olav, before we get started, I just want to say this is what it looks like when you give interns the keys to the palace. So it could be special and it could be not special. Let's see how it works out. So the first spiritual principle, which is, Olav.
Are we talking AA or NA?
Let's go NA.
NA? Okay. So, humility?
The first spiritual principle of NA is definitely honesty.
That's AA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's AA.
This is what it looks like when interns take over. So Olav, the first spiritual principle of NA is honesty.
Okay.
Would you agree?
We're doing the NA one.
Yeah, we're doing the NA one.
You just said AA's
No,
principle.
definitely NA.
NA's, okay.
All right.
Honesty. Sure.
Honesty.
Okay.
I'm glad we're doing that. I don't know anything about either one, but definitely the AA one I would have more of a problem with. So honesty. So Olav, what opened up the first spiritual principle? Who was the first person to point out the first spiritual principle to you? Was it, like, for instance, was it a sponsor? Was it yourself?
It was definitely a sponsor. I worked the AA steps, but, the AA or NA, whatever, honesty is the most important, I think, to be able to be honest with oneself. And I had to learn what the principle was, because that first step, but the fact that you get pointed out that, and it had to be myself to catch that my ass wasn't being honest with myself before I could ever expect a change to come.
So would you agree that first, to yourself, it gets pointed out that you're just a liar? And so the first thing about it is you try to catch yourself just telling lies or embellishing or anything. Would you agree that that comes first before you start getting honest with yourself?
Repeat the question again?
Okay, so honesty is, to me, is a multi-layer onion, okay? So first, if somebody tells me to get honest, the first thing I think of is...
F you.
No, yeah, that first. But
let's be honest.
The second thing I think, yes, this is honesty. So the first thing I think is, do I lie to people a lot? Do I tell a lot of lies? Am I a bull crapper?
Right.
Which I am, definitely. So if you're working the spiritual principle of honesty, the first part of lying that you're going to recognize is that, do I lie to a lot of people? Am I embellishing? Am I saying I got $20 when I only got $1?
Well, I think everybody thinks they're not a liar. And I hear this all the time. Like, even when I was in the act of addiction, when someone would tell me, look, I'll tell you right now, I never lie, I immediately would say to myself, yeah, they're not going to ever get a front, or they're not ever going to get any sort of real, I don't know, like, I would never look at them as someone who doesn't lie, because they lied off rip. On first quarter of the game, they're already dropping lies to me. So if they say, I don't ever tell a lie, and still to this day, people that are deep into recovery, I don't think people realize how much we lie. And that's okay, because it's not for me to recognize that in them. Everyone's got to recognize it within themselves.
Do you recognize how much you lie?
I don't recognize how much I lie, no.
Okay, so...
Because I'm pretty honest.
All right.
But when I do lie, it happens all the time. See, this is why I recognize it for the most part. It will come after I make a statement, and I'll have to back up that statement as I'm saying it. And so I'll say something like, I hardly ever today tell a lie. Instead of me saying, I don't lie anymore, I would stop, and it doesn't come out until I've almost started to complete the sentence before I say, I'll fix it in mid-sentence. I hardly, or it's rare that I ever lie today.
So you're saying you have a choice not to lie? It's a choice.
I'm saying until I'm aware that I lie a lot and that I can not stop myself from lying. However, I can stop myself from finishing a sentence if I'm open to the fact that I lie all the time.
All right. That makes sense. All right. Let me see if I can explain to it how it opened up to me.
Okay.
Honesty to begin with. So I lie a lot, or
I
did.
know.
Now I have the choice not to lie. So first, I would say that's how it started right there.
So hold on, let's back up that statement right there. You said you don't lie.
Well, now I know I have a choice and I catch myself. So I'll get to it. Let me walk it back.
I'm going to choose to lie a lot.
Yeah, I'm about to choose to kick you. All right, now here we go. This is it. Let me just get this out. All right, let me see if I can get this out clearly and explain it so it might help somebody. So this is the point. First part of honesty that I realized in the lying piece was that I was lying to other people. Mm-hmm. Like, even if it wasn't huge lies, maybe embellishments or straight up lies, like this, that, or the third. So first that was pointed out to me. So bam, how do I do that? I'm conscious that I'm lying now. So how do I stop it? I have a choice not to do it, and now I can catch myself. I don't even realize how much I'm lying until I'm aware of how much I'm lying and how much I got to catch myself.
So you could make the argument that you still lie all the time, and that you don't catch yourself because you can't see yourself.
I definitely am aware of my lying now. That's what working the steps is about. Okay. Now hold on, I'll give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you right here. I'm gonna lay it out for you because we're gonna get off track here. So once I was conscious, this is a step I've already worked. I worked this principle. I'm working it now. You always work it. No, you never finish the first step. The first step is something you never finish. That's the only step that you have to work constantly. So now that I'm aware of it, do I still do it? Yes, because I still have a diseased mind. But I'm conscious of it, and I have a choice not to do it. And now, if I do it, I do feel convicted. Like, sometimes I will tell the lie, and I'll be like, nah, I was just bullshit. Very quickly. Because that keeps my conscience clear. Right. Now, the second part of it is once I was aware of that and recognized that behavior, then it was a whole new layer of lying to myself.
Right.
And lying and actually seeing myself for what I really was through my disease thinking and my addiction, that I was a manipulator. Mm-hmm. And because I have a choice not to be a manipulator today. Now there's no finish. There's never no finish, bro. Okay. There's never no finish to this.
But you can see yourself though.
Huh? Yeah, that's what working the steps is about. So, to me, the step work is particularly the first step, and I'm not going to go any further than that because we're talking about the first spiritual principle. Okay. It is about self-examination. Mm-hmm. And so, so you would say, this is a tool to examine yourself, because you hear people say this, faith-based and all that, examine yourself. And you've heard that through any spiritual book, examine yourself. So, how do I examine myself? Am I looking at myself? How do I do it? What is the tool to do it? And I think that's what the first step is all about, the tool for really examining yourself.
Are you the one that's examining yourself?
Well, who the hell else is going to do it, Olav? You have to examine yourself.
Think you're adequately qualified to examine yourself?
No, listen, I do this.
Do you have a sponsor?
I definitely have a sponsor. Definitely. And that's who walked me through this. I would have never known how to do it without my sponsor. Of course, your sponsor helps.
What I'm trying to get at is maybe you're not the most qualified person to be the one.
Well, that's why I'm in an NA fellowship.
Okay.
I said, I didn't know how to do it at first. Somebody had to show me how to do it. And that's what this fellowship is all about, actually.
Like you said with the...
Do you have a sponsor, Olav?
I do have a sponsor.
And you sponsor yourself. And it definitely is showing, bro. I love you, though, bro. But it's funny. So yeah, of course you have a sponsor. That's how this fellowship is set up. You get a home group, you go to meetings, you listen for a while, you get a sponsor, and then he gives you that tool of the first step to help you examine yourself. I mean, if that's not what it is, what else is it?
Well, I'm not trying to say it's not. I was more so just asking you if you...
Yeah.
Because what I'm trying to say is that I can't ever really...
Oh, no, because I'll lie to myself, yeah.
Right. And so getting on to what you were saying, the second part is... yourself. That's what you were about to say.
Well, I mean, I think it's integrated. It's both. You're lying to people. You're lying to yourself. I mean, when you first get here, you're just a big liar. Right. I mean, I'm just a big liar.
For sure.
I mean, when you're in active addiction, you have to lie to everybody about everything. Usually, I do. Not you. I didn't mean you. I mean, I do.
No, yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah. So, I mean, whether you're covering up something or trying to hustle or whatever you're trying to do, of course, you're just a big liar. So, I believe that makes sense to why it's the first spiritual principle. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is good stuff, bro. This is good stuff. So yeah, once you're aware of it and you basically are open minded, and willing to make the change. And that's what I think we were talking about earlier about catching yourself when you start lying. Because you do another thing through working the steps and just being clean and clear headed is your conscience. I'm not saying your conscience was ever turned off, but my conscience, but you're more aware that you want a clear conscience.
Yeah, when you're in the act of addiction, I don't think your conscience is as sharp as it should be.
Yeah, or you're not listening to that communication,
Sure.
Yeah, or it's talking to you and you're like, shut the hell up, I want to do what I want.
Yeah, well, that's what the drugs are for, right?
Oh yeah, or you lie to your own conscience.
I did that a lot.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I'll save this bag for tonight, and then I'll have enough for tomorrow.
Yeah.
By the end of the night, you're already looking for more.
So would you agree that that first step really opens up everything? Because until you can get honest until I can get a little honest with myself and with other people, I can't even start to surrender or be open-minded about anything. So, I guess you have to be open-minded about being honest, first of all. But it does feel good to know that you do have a choice not to do that. You can catch yourself, and you can start the process of healing just by being just a little bit honest at first, just a little bit of honesty. This is what I am. This is what I'm trying to do. This is just the authentic me. Because I think a lot of times, like for myself, I'll lie because maybe probably definitely because of low self-esteem, or you want people to like you, or you want people to see you in a certain way. So you might embellish this, or you might embellish that. You might lie about this. And the whole time, if you're just being your authentic, honest self, like most of the time, like people will just like you for that. You don't even realize like your disease is probably lying to you, saying that if I lie about this, they'll like me more. But everybody probably recognizes that is just a big liar.
Right.
Yeah, so I found that's been very helpful for me through the first step. Yeah, and so we're getting about.
I was gonna ask Steve how we're doing on time here.
Steve, all right. So this was basically an outtake. It's probably going to be like crazy sounding and crazy looking. We're working through the kinks to try to get better at this, but I'm glad only like one or two people will see this. But Olav, how do you feel about what just happened?
I feel good.
You feel good?
I feel natural in front of a camera or a microphone.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like when I'm on stage,
Yeah, pretty much. That's all Olaf needs is 2 turntables and a microphone. All right. So, Steve, what do you think? So, Steve is like the awesome engineer we have back there. We pretty much fumbled our way through this, and he came in and batted clean up for us.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Yeah, he got us online.
That's right.
And this was our first time doing it, and it was my first time doing it. But your first time doing it also, Olav?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, we had some ups, we had some downs, we had a few laughs, and I would count this as a success. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
All right, so.
Room to grow, but
room to grow.
For sure.
Yeah. So a couple laughs. So thank y'all if you tuned in to the 1 or 3 people that tuned in.
Yeah, we can establish that I'm the honest one and you're the bullshitter.
Yeah, I'm the bullshitter, and so definitely.
That's honest, though.
Yeah, that's very honest. So tomorrow, basically, we're gonna try this again. So I think we'll work out the kinks by then, or we'll be more messed up. Either way, see y'all next time.
Thank you.